Good morning, everybody. Well, good morning, Queensland. Good morning, Pimpama. And we're here today officially opening a brand new school, Gainsborough State School. And I'm joined by the Minister for Education, Grace, and of course our acting Cho, Dr. Aiken. So first of all, in good news, 0 local community cases. Well done, Queensland. There's only been one new case which is overseas acquired, and they are in hotel quarantine. And we've had 7,929 tests in the past 24 hours. That's excellent because people need to still go and get tested if you are feeling sick. We have to find that first case if there is a case in Queensland. So thank you to all of those people going and getting tested. 9,129 vaccines by Queensland Health yesterday. So now we are at 84.6% of Queenslanders have had their first dose. 73.42% are now fully vaccinated. Now that means that's great news because Queensland is heading towards that 90% coverage. I still want to see it higher, and that 73.42, we're heading towards that 80%. So well done, Queensland, and keep that up. I want to do a shout out now to some of the regions that have been doing particularly well over the past week. And the standout at the moment is Mackay. There has been a the Mackay region, not just Mackay itself, that whole Mackay region, 3.8% increase. They now have 86.4% have their first dose and 69.5% second dose. Northwest Queensland, fantastic, 3.7% increase. They are now at 74.1% first dose, and of course that needs to increase. Central Queensland, again, we were really concerned initially about these three regions, a 3.5% increase. They're now at 80.5%. That is going exactly in the direction we need it to go. And Ipswich, I want to do a big shout out to Ipswich too, 3.5% increase. They are now at 84.3%. But I am concerned about the Gold Coast. The Gold Coast region is still sitting at now 84.1% first dose. They are a tourist destination. I really do need the Gold Coast residents who are not yet vaccinated to go and get vaccinated. We need to increase these vaccination rates as fast as possible. Time is running out. I just need to say to people, time is running out here with the vaccines, because when we get to that 80% double dose, we are going to see a lot of people coming into Queensland. And the best way that we can protect ourselves is to go and get vaccinated. So with those few words, I might hand over to Dr. Aiken, and then we're happy to answer any further questions. I might add to a big shout out to Brisbane East and Brisbane West. They're now at 90% first dose. So Brisbane region is heading towards 90%. Also Sunshine Coast is at 88.8% first dose. The Moreton Bay regions are sitting at 89%. Logan's doing well at 83%. But, you know, we've got Cairns doing really well too at 84.9%. So now Cairns is leading the Gold Coast. So I've been on the Gold Coast the last couple of days, so I hope everyone's getting the message. We really need the Gold Coast vaccination rates to increase, because that virus will come in, and you are so close to the border that there are going to be people coming across the border, and if 1 or 2 people have that virus, this is the pandemic of the unvaccinated, and if you are unvaccinated, you are going to be vulnerable. So I'll hand over to Dr. Aiken. Thank you.
Thank you, Premier. And as you've heard, only one new case today, 0 new cases locally acquired, that 1 new case is overseas acquired. They're a mariner, contracted overseas, in hotel quarantine. They're fully vaccinated. They may be infectious on the flight. We're working through that at the moment as per normal process. The good news is the vaccination rates continue to go up, and really importantly, it's those first doses that continue to climb. And just echo the Premier's comments that the increase in first doses and the increase in vaccination rates in some of those communities that have been slower to take up vaccination so far has been brilliant. And we'd really ask all Queenslanders to come forward and do that, because the sooner we can get to 80% double dose vaccinated, the sooner we can start to reopen Queensland, the sooner we can actually get to 90% double dose vaccinated. And that's a real challenge now, to really keep our community safe. And that's what it's about. It's about keeping our community safe. So Queenslanders, please come forward and get vaccinated. Thank you.
Thank you, Grace.
It's great to be here this morning on the Gold Coast with the Premier and Foundation Principal Clay McCann to officially open the new Gainsborough State School at Pimpama on the Gold Coast, a very fast-growing area of the Gold Coast region, and it's wonderful to see these fantastic world-class facilities. All the staff, can I congratulate them, the students, the 350 students, the Foundation students that were here this morning enjoying the celebrations as we officially open this fantastic new school. Can I congratulate the principal? Can I congratulate all of the staff and teachers? In fact, when I asked the teachers, when I asked the students what is the best part of coming to a brand new school, they actually mentioned the teachers and the staff as the best part. So congratulations to all. These are really, truly wonderful facilities. Over $60 million of investment will be invested in this part of the Gold Coast. There is stage 2 about to kick off. We're in tender stage at the moment, and this school will have a capacity of around 1,300 by the time we finish stages 2 and stages 3. This is just one of 18 new schools that we have opened since we've been elected. We have 3 next year and 10 coming into 23 and 24. We love nothing more with the Premier than to officially open new schools, and Gainsborough is right up there with the best of them. Congratulations to all, and it's wonderful to be here on the Gold Coast, and maybe Mr McCann would like to say a couple of words.
I'd just like to thank the Honourable Premier of Queensland and the Minister Grace for coming down and being part of our school community and showing our school off to the community that we have. We've thoroughly enjoyed it, and we really do appreciate the time that you've taken out of your busy schedules to be part of our day, and to all our invited guests for sharing our day, and our parents and our students. So thank you.
Thank you. And can I just do a big shout out to all of our principals and teachers right across Queensland and the whole school communities that have really kept the schools going through what has been a most challenging year. I've been speaking to some people in other countries, and they've said that some of their children have been at home in lockdown for 18 months. Now, that has not been the case in Queensland. The strong health response has enabled people to go to school, people to go to work, and people to enjoy the great Queensland lifestyle. And we want that to continue. And the best way for that to continue is for people to go and get vaccinated.
Premier, are you going to listen to Greg Hunt and reconsider the PCR testing policy once the borders fully reopen?
Thanks, Melina. I'll let Greg Hunt look after his job, and I'll do my job. And, now's not the time to fight. Now is the time to actually work together. Now, I understand the New South Wales Premier has said this morning that he would like to see this issue resolved at National Cabinet, and I'd like to see this issue resolved at National Cabinet. Let's work together and work out a solution. We work best when we work together, and it's just disappointing that some people want to be political at the moment when all we're trying to do is keep Queenslanders safe.
Premier, isn't Queensland effectively closed for Christmas with a $150 toll on the border?
Well, Greg Hunt can quite easily make it a Medicare rebate. He can do that with the stroke of a pen. Let's get this resolved, National Cabinet, but it's only a temporary measure. Let me also stress this. This is a temporary measure up until we get to that 90% double dose. Once we get to 90% double dose, there is no PCR test requirement. Now, the PCR test requirement is the same for the majority of other states as well. It is not unique to Queensland. They are highly effective in detecting the virus. Good morning. There we go. If anyone doesn't know, we're out of school.
There's been a lot of concern from Queenslanders about having to pay for this PCR test. Have you heard that?
Yes, I have. Yeah, I have. And that's why we need to work out a solution. And the best solution is to make it a Medicare rebate. And the federal government can do that at the stroke of a pen. I understand this is going to be put on the agenda at National Cabinet. It is a requirement for the majority of other states as well to have this test done. We need to detect, this is the situation. Like I said, this is the pandemic of the unvaccinated. We need to detect if someone has this virus as quickly as possible. These PCR tests are the most effective. It is about keeping the rest of the Queensland community safe. It is a temporary measure until we get to that 90% double dose. And as you heard today, we're at 84.6%. We are getting there. We are getting there, but we need more people to come out and get vaccinated.
Premier, why is all of New South Wales declared a hotspot when there's no nationally declared hotspots at all?
The federal declaration is different. It's to do with income support, and we will, I think Queenslanders will look across at New South Wales and Victoria and see the number of cases, and they would be just as concerned. So we take the advice of the Chief Health Officer in terms of where we see those hotspots are, and that is what we require to keep this state safe.
Premier, you mentioned quantified, but Greg Hunt's suggesting that Queensland needs to look seriously at the rapid antigen testing. Why not look at that to resolve this situation?
Because the PCR test at the moment is the most effective.
Premier, you mentioned that they'll scrap the PCR tests at 90%.
90% double dose, yep.
90% double
Yeah.
dose. What would be the consequence if people weren't required to show a COVID PCR test until we reach 90%?
Well, the issue would be if someone came in without a PCR test and had the virus, it would spread like wildfire through the unvaccinated population of Queensland. I don't want to see the people of Queensland get COVID for Christmas. You know, the federal government might, but I don't.
How much of a risk would that be if there was an outbreak in Queensland before Christmas?
It'd be a huge risk. You know, it would be a huge risk. It would have a devastating impact on our local economy. It would have a devastating impact on our tourist destinations as well. You imagine if there was an outbreak in a hotel chain or an outbreak in, you know, a tourist theme park. This is great. A bit of easy listening music here as well.
We're definitely at a
There we go. There we go.
time.
It's morning tea break.
Be able to bring out the
Sorry.
PCR tests, or
Yes, we're looking at that to have the text message. Yeah, they'll be fine. Yeah.
Premier, if someone was, say, going to Sydney for a day or two for work, would they still be required to do a PCR test?
We're looking at that. You do need to have a PCR test. So at the moment, going to Sydney for a day or two would be out of the question until we get to that 90% double dose. Yeah.
Premier, what do you say to people, though, who feel that this is a financial barrier?
It's a national issue, Marlena. This is a national issue. It's not.
People who can't afford it.
It's
What do you
your.
say to them?
Greg Hunt just has to make it a Medicare rebate, and then it's affordable to everybody.
Why wasn't this worked out, though, before you released the plan?
Let me say this. This is a requirement for basically every other state. It's not unique to Queensland.
Premier, you've said the virus is coming, so why not just open the borders now?
Because we're not ready. We have a clear plan. I think the last thing people would like to see is the COVID spread through the Gold Coast before Christmas and during the Christmas holidays. I think that would be a very bleak Christmas and not the Christmas that Queenslanders want.
Premier, you said in other states people are forced to pay. People have to have PCR
Yes.
tests. People coming from hotspots in South Australia aren't forced to pay for them, though. Why? Is
Western
it
Australia, Tasmania, Northern Territory all have PCR tests.
the same as Queensland having to?
It's
pay
my
for them?
understanding, yes.
On the vaccine
Yeah,
mandate,
but the federal government can make it a rebate, so let's look at that. Yeah.
on the mandate for businesses, so does that kick in once we hit 80% for double dose?
80% double dose, yeah.
80%.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for coming to Gainsborough.
Thank you.
It's morning tea break now. All right. Thank you.
Beautiful.